the agents are the ones that actually make dreams come true. They help families find their homes, and everybody wants a home. So agents take care of everyone, but who's taking care of the agents?
Hey guys, it's Ed Stulak. We are in New York City, just moments away from meeting with the CEO of Real Broker, Tamir Poleg. He flew out all the way from Tel Aviv, Israel. So excited to have a sit-down chat with him and really share with you the story behind Real, why it started, how it started, what the inspiration was behind it, and so much more. But also, this video is special because I'm giving a little bit of a token of appreciation to Tamir for what he has created. He's changed lives, he's changed businesses, he's changed mine, and so many others. So we're gonna be coming up with something really, really cool that I want you to witness. So without further ado, let's dive in. This whole time I couldn't think of like a proper idea of what I wanted to film with Tamir, but then it started to resonate with me, and what better way than to, you know, like do something that resonates with me, which is a suit for my boy, and just something nice, you know, work hard, be kind, tattooed all over that suit, dude. Oh, it's gonna look so elegant, so nice. And so this story begins in the concrete jungle of New York City, where my team and I got the opportunity to visit the Real Broker headquarters and meet with Real's CEO, Mr. Tamir Poleg, who just had a long 12-hour flight from across the seas. As we approached the office of where Real first started, Tamir and I took a load off and browsed through some fabrics and swatches for the suit we're creating for him in this video, and proceeded to an interview about the story behind Real.
You look good. You look...
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I just want to keep it very casual. The point of this whole project here is my thank you, which I'm sure a lot of the viewers that are part of the company right now want to say the same thing and show the same appreciation that I'm showing to you today. Because personally, you've changed my life. This company has changed my life. Not just saying that for the camera. It truly has. It allows me to do things like we're doing today, collaborate more, my business, and helps me push and scale others' businesses as well that are around me. It's a beautiful thing. So again, this is my little token of appreciation to you and to the company. So thank you for even meeting with me here today.
Sure, thank you. And actually, when you say that, I feel embarrassed because I think that I feel the same way, but from the opposite direction. So I just feel grateful for you and for every agent that actually decided to trust us and come over and help us build the company. Like at the beginning, I was pinching myself when agents were joining. Like, why would they do that? Like, you know, they have running businesses, they figured it out, and even though I knew that this is a better place for them, it's still, I understood the process people had to take in order to get to a decision of, okay, I'm now betting on this newer, younger, maybe uncertain future. But yeah, for me, I feel like the agents that we have with us as partners have changed my life. So I just feel the same way you do.
I like that you say that, though. It is truly partnerships. When I joined, I was around, I don't want to say 1,400 agents, somewhere around there, very early, you know. I heard of Real maybe 4 years before I even made the switch. I don't know, someone sent me a website, a link, like, hey, join real.com. Completely threw it to the side. Don't even show me this. I'm saying this on camera in front of you. I said, no, there's no way virtual can work. How can virtual brokerage work? It was very early when I joined, right? So I saw a lot of the hiccups in the beginning, the errors, but I'm very happy to be one of those guys that picked up the shovel and dug to help this company grow to where it is, you know? So I'm super appreciative of that.
And it's funny that you're saying that because, you know, when we started the company for the, I don't know, first couple of years, I was the marketing person, the salesperson. I was putting the ads, I was having all of the attraction calls with the agents.
You were even doing customer support, I hear.
I was doing support. But the thing is, at the beginning in 2014, 2015, all of the attraction conversations were around, yes, we don't have offices. So how can you support me if you don't have offices? And I was trying to tell them that it's possible. Like, what is it that you actually do at the office? Like, try to think about it. You can do all of those things remotely. And if we build a technology that's powerful enough, then it can replace the office. So at the beginning, all of those conversations evolved around what do we do if there are no offices? But I think that 2018, 19, 2020, COVID, for sure, we just don't have those conversations anymore. Like, everybody understands that it's okay. You can work from anywhere. You can be flexible. It actually may be even better most of the time. So it's interesting to see how industries evolve and how psychology works as well.
So then let's dive into that for a second. I'm noticing how Real is truly taking the bull by the horn and saying, we're going to do it this way. So creating a disruptive wave, let's talk it, in the industry. Tell me a little bit more about why you wanted to take this route.
I think that when you spot an opportunity or a situation that you truly believe that should work differently and can be improved, then if you're an entrepreneur, you want to act upon it. So if I look at myself, in my past, I was a construction worker. I worked in sales for tech companies. I had my own real estate company focused on construction and multifamily investment. So I knew technology and I knew real estate very well. And I knew the value that agents bring to the transaction as well. So I think that as I was looking for opportunities to do something with my real estate background and technology background, I looked at the brokerage industry and I realized that, or at least I felt that nobody truly cares about the agents. Like, think about it. The agents are the ones that actually make dreams come true. They help families find their homes, and everybody wants a home. So agents take care of everyone, but who's taking care of the agents? So 9 years ago, I was looking at that and I said, I feel like nobody's taking good care of the agents, and I want to be that person. And how can I be that person? And how can we create a company that really provides better opportunities and just create better futures for real estate agents in this country? So this is how it started, just by looking at what's out there, what are the alternatives for agents, and then realizing that this can be done so much better. I think that doing the right thing is the theme that eventually will get you to a place where everybody wants to be a part of it because you're doing something right for them.
Absolutely. I mean, segmenting off of what we're even doing today, right, with tailoring a suit to custom to you, custom to me, which I'm so excited to, at the end of the video, to really show what the true product is from Los Torres Tailors. Let's pause this for a second. We're now going to take a step away from the interview for just a moment and show you what phase 2 of this project entailed. And because we needed to be with Tamir in person again to make sure that all the measurements we took of him fit right, we figured we'd catch him on his next trip out to the States, which was Viva Las Vegas. Alright. It is 8 a.m. We got in last night at 4:30 into our hotel. It was a long night, and I should not be up right now, but we got a long day ahead, so 5 more minutes.
So we're headed to meet with Tamir right now. We're walking over to the Cosmopolitan Hotel. That's where we're taking place of our fitting. And it's hot as hell outside. And I wish we could do this in New York instead, but we're doing it in Vegas.
And now, back to the interview. I saw Real. I saw that you can take Real and you can flip it around, and it's still the same concept, same logo. blew my mind. I was so intrigued with it because I haven't seen that yet in the business. So where did the logo idea come from?
It's actually a funny story. We started the company, Real, in Houston because this is where my old company used to be. And then at some point we wanted to scale our marketing efforts because I was the only marketing person. And we said, okay, maybe New York has better marketing talent. So let's move the company to New York. We rented an office in this building, not this floor. And the first person I wanted to hire was a designer. So we put out an ad for a designer. And the first person who showed up was a young guy. I think he was 22 years old. He was designing for about a year. We had a really fun conversation, really funny one. It was a Friday afternoon. And I told him, you know what? I really like you. Go home and think about a logo for a young tech-based real estate brokerage. And let's see what you can come up with. And come Monday, he sent me that logo that we are still using today. Obviously, we hired him. His name is Dan. He's been with the company for 6 years, I think. He left recently, but the logo that we are still using is the same logo that we gave him as a weekend assignment for getting
project.
Yeah. And you know, typically companies pay, I don't know, $100,000 for getting a logo done, and there's a lot of thinking behind it, and he just nailed it. And agents love it. And we love it too.
I think true genius comes from simplicity,
Yes.
and that is simple.
Yeah.
True simplicity.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But he was a genius. We should give him that.
He is genius, absolutely. Not many people have it, so I applaud Dan, of course, but I applaud that we're still using that logo. It definitely intrigued me. What really inspired you to want to take this thing global? I mean, where do you see Real going? How far do you see it going?
I think that the reason why we grew to more and more states and expanded to Canada is the fact that we believe that we are doing something right, which truly can change lives of agents. So if you have something which is good and can do good by people, you want as many people to be exposed to it and have the opportunity. This is why we scaled more and more and more. I think that if I'm looking at the real estate market in North America and outside of North America, I think that there are so many opportunities right now in the US and Canada. We should probably focus here for the next couple of years and then maybe think globally. But at the end of the day, I also think that our industry is lacking innovation on the consumer side. Because right now, if you're a home buyer, for example, you don't wake up in the morning and say, I really wish I had an agent, or I really wish I had a mortgage, or I really wish I had a title policy. Like, people want a home. Like, this is what people wake up in the morning and think about or dream about, a home. And I think that our industry isn't really delivering that at the moment. What we deliver them is, hey, please work with an agent, work with a lender, work with a title company. You need an inspection, you need an appraisal. And they just get lost. And there's a lot of friction and it just builds up a lot of anxiety. So how can we understand that agents are critical to the transaction, but we're also lacking a layer of experience that will just eliminate the need for all of those different stakeholders and just streamline the home buying journey and just inject more convenience and speed and transparency. And for me, that's the future of real estate. I think that my kids will not be buying a home the same way that, I don't know, you or me or my parents used to buy a home. So as an industry, we need to take care of that, maybe even before expanding Real to other territories or countries. So let's figure out a better solution for consumers first.
It comes down to quality over quantity in this sense, from what I see, right? We want to make sure everything is done correctly before expansion happens,
Yeah.
which, you know, this is where I foresee companies maybe taking a wrong turn, where they expand too quickly, where they want quantity over quality.
And it's tempting, you know, it's tempting because sometimes you have an opportunity, and we have this kind of opportunities on a weekly basis probably, of people coming to us and say, hey, why don't you open up in Mexico? I had this opportunity this week. Like, I have a huge team in Mexico, number 3 in the state, in the country. Let's open up Mexico. Or people reaching out to me and saying, hey, we can bring 1,000 people overnight. And then I take a pause and say, okay, let's have a few conversations. Let's understand who you are, what your goals are, what your DNA is. Do you really fit here? So I think that Real could have been at 20, maybe 30,000 agents if we were not very protective of the culture that we're trying to build. Very often it's tempting and you want to demonstrate that you're growing and you want to make the shareholders happy. But if you truly think long-term, then you really need to put the right foundations in place. And putting the right foundations also means that sometimes you have to say no to people. And that's tough.
Very tough, I know. What kind of sacrifices were big ones that you are very memorable to you?
I don't feel like those are sacrifices. I think that this is a very conscious decision to live in a certain lifestyle or in a certain way. So, I practically live in Israel, which is 7 hours ahead of East Coast. And that means that I'm starting my working day around 3 p.m. and I'm ending it around midnight. And that comes at the expense of maybe spending time with my family. And I think that my family is the one that actually is making the sacrifices. For me, it's a decision because I'm following my passion. But I also think that my kids are seeing that a good example of a dad that's working hard and fulfilling himself and following his passion. And hopefully they will learn from that. Maybe you're sacrificing your health a little bit, your sleep, but it's all worth it. I don't feel like I'm giving up anything. I feel like I'm the luckiest person in the world.
And you act like it, online, offline, with the same person, all around. So it's very noticeable, and I acknowledge it. If I can ask, what is one of your fondest, favorite memories of growing this company?
It's an interesting question because I think that typically people expect, when you ask a question like this, you expect me to say, when we listed on NASDAQ or when we rang the bell in Canada or in NASDAQ, like those high moments. But those are not the actual moments that I think of the journey. I think that I'll just give you an example from yesterday. I was on Instagram and I saw one of our agents who's running a large team posting, "We are going to be at Real for a very, very long time because of the people." So for me, that's a highlight. Like, this is what makes me truly happy and accomplished and feel grateful. All of the other things of raising money and taking the company public, this is great, this is amazing, but this is not really what's touching you inside. So for me, getting the feedback from the agents and truly understanding that we're making an impact on people's lives, and how you started the conversation by saying that Real really changed and gave you more opportunities and gave you the chance to travel around the country and change the trajectory of your business and hopefully the future of yourself and your future family. I think that those are the things that stay with me.
You couldn't have said it better. I for some reason, I knew you weren't going to say NASDAQ or one of those big high moments, the first conference in San Antonio, for example. Those are big highlights, absolutely. But I know that there's more of an emotional touch, and that truly is it. I don't know what you were going to say, but I'm so happy you said that.
I think we also need to maybe talk about the difficult moments and failures, because you're running a successful business and you have this persona on social media and everybody thinks that Ed Stulak is a superstar and everything's going great and everything is working for you and you figured it out. But nobody knows the difficult moments and everything you had to go through in order to get to that point where everything is maybe a little bit easier, or you know exactly what to do in order to achieve a certain outcome. And I think that as an entrepreneur, I can relate to that because I went through a lot of tough moments. And I think that now when people look at Real and say, okay, fastest growing, 10,000 agents, a lot of buzz in the industry, I'm still carrying those scars and carrying those tough moments. And we talked about my co-founders. So I started the company with two other co-founders that are not here. So losing co-founders or saying goodbye to co-founders is a difficult moment, and being underfunded and having to lay off people a couple of times because we didn't have enough money. Those are the moments that I'm taking with me, and I'm sure that you're taking with you in your business as well. What you perceive as success is definitely, it hasn't happened overnight. It took a lot of efforts, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of believing that you're doing the right thing. But success is not success without all of the failures that you went through.
And I want to leave off with your analogy, the surfing analogy of the waves. If you can, tell us, what does that mean to you? Where did that come from?
Sure. I started surfing when I was 13, so many years ago. And when you're surfing a wave, it's the best feeling in the world. like you're catching the wave and you can, do your maneuvers and you're trying to read the wave. It's so great. And if you ever surfed, you probably know the feeling. But then you also know that the wave can take you down at any moment. And also when the wave ends, this is where the hard work begins, because you have to pedal back and wait for the next set. And while you're pedaling back, there are sets coming. You have to dive under the wave. Sometimes they throw you back. So it's an effort. But you cannot take the next wave unless you work really hard to get to where you need to be. So when I was thinking about this great wave of real estate that the industry experienced in 2020, 2021, the first half of 2022, I thought about this analogy. And I shared it with everybody, with our agents at the conference, and said, hey, we had a great run, we had a great wave. Now it's time to pedal back. So just know that the next wave will come. It'll come 100%. This is how markets behave. But for now, what we need to do is support each other and paddle back and just wait for the next wave.
Tamir, I can't thank you enough for sitting down with me. I appreciate it. Yeah. He stayed over, same bed. Look at him defensive.
The interview is now complete, and I gotta say, that was an incredible experience and such an honor to hear about the beginnings of Real, where it's still headed. We even got a glimpse of the ups and downs and all arounds. And the best part is that we got to hear it from the man who started it all. Now we're off to San Diego to reveal the final product of this project. It's been a wild 48 hours here in San Diego, California. The crew and I just flew in from a long 6-hour flight, and it was just a lot. And we didn't even have time to film any of that because we've been just meeting with people, bumping into people at the conference already, which the conference hasn't even started yet. And it's just been a wild time. We might have gone to a few gatherings, let's call it, after hours. And those took up a lot of time. So we didn't get to film. But during the time of absence on the camera, we met with Tamir. We brought him the final piece of this whole project, and I must say, it looks incredible on him. He rocks it better than anyone I've seen wear a suit. And I'm just excited to show you guys this final reveal. It's been such a progress over the past 6 or 7 months now of putting everything together, traveling to Las Vegas, to New York City, and now San Diego, California. And now we are here. We're at the Rise event. And we're excited to show you this final piece. So let's show you what we got.
The final suit is complete. It looks incredible, it's beautiful, and it's done. Again, this was a big thank you to Tamir, the Real staff, and the family at Real for making Real so unique and so cool. So again, thank you to Tamir, thank you to everyone, and thank you for watching. Until next time.